you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So we've got some special stuff today. So I didn't realize that Disney was decided to do a Disney choose for random villains. I know we have two right here. There's a Hades one coming in August, and I couldn't wait, so I want to talk about it now, especially since this story here, like Scar, is on issue 2. So I'm like, you know what, let's just start with the number ones for the 2 books that came out. So our first one is Scar. Now, Scar is an interesting choice, alright? Because ultimately, when I think of Scar, I think of... So this story takes place relatively early. And by early, I mean within the confines of the original movie. The presentation of Simba has already happened. So in other words, Mufasa have already had the, oh no Mufasa, perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me. You know, the idea like, hey, where were you at the presentation of Simba? The idea that Scar is salty the fact that he was the next in line for the throne until the hairball was born. How Scar didn't realize this was always going to happen is beyond anyone, really. But anyway, so we take place, you know, it's Pride Rock. Everyone's cool. Everyone just met the new alpha predator. So yeah, a young wildebeest talks to mom about, hey, why we tolerate this bird being on her back all the time? And she explains like how it works. All right. So you know, birds can't fly forever, so they use our backs to rest. They could use the trees, but you know, as a community, we work together. We help each other. So we let them rest here, and they keep as many bugs as possible away from us. See how that works? Teamwork makes the dream work. Remember, it all exists in delicate balance with the circle of life. And so she sends her son off to play, and then Scar attacks him, and he's freaking out. And she comes in like, you know what? Look, I am Thema, alright? I beg you, spare my child Scar. Let him go and face me. Bigger meal. Good deal, sort of. But, you know, Scar's like, I'm not hungry. I've just had a really terrible day. And I just randomly choose peasants like yourselves to have a worse day. So, yeah, already, this story's letting us know that Scar's already irredeemable, alright? He is not hunting out of hunger. He is hunting to make someone else's life worse, alright? And, yeah, that's some Mad King shit, alright? Alright, yeah, I watch Game of Thrones. Yeah. So, what happens then is, as it's going through, a bunch of other wildebeests come by, and it's really, really fitting that this is how Scar's day starts off, because in a matter of days, he's going to do the same thing, or maybe this is what caused it. So anyway, goes through, ends up like the edge of the cliff, and someone comes up like, hey, I just came to see exactly what became of you, alright? He's like, you know, thwarted by an inferior species. I love it. I suppose overwhelming numbers is how you can come across me and, you know, match the power of my royalty. I'm like, dude, let it go. Let it go. And she's like, oh, I'm here to take you down myself. And she does. She does. Like, this is why you lost. It was the love of her community, something his dark heart will never know. He falls down, has a sort of weird dream. He's like in like this weird netherworld. Maybe Scar was supposed to die in this scene. Who knows? But he sees sort of weird, almost like a spirit realm version of, well, Pride Rock, and he's met by Mufasa, like, this is where you belong, Scar. Like, no, don't leave me behind. I'm the rightful heir and whatnot. And yeah, so to further prove that he's not doing so well, the vultures are there, and they're like, oh, hey, look, Scar. They actually know Scar, but they're like, oh, holy crap, it's Scar. Yep, hasn't been his day, has it? Yeah, Simba's already been announced. He's no longer next in line for the throne. Wild. So they're going to be like, hey, should we eat him? I think so. But he's like, one was like, hey, I got an idea. Here, alright? And his friend Crass like, why do I feel you got a look that says Crass is going to get hurt? So anyway, they said, like, so, you know, if we egg Scar on a bit, like, give him some ideas, he'll cause some chaos. And chaos means dead animals for us, scavengers to feast on. He'll turn the Pride Lands upside down. Alright? Either that, or you'll just die, whichever one. So, if he wakes up, we're going to write some stuff down to put the idea in his head that he should kill Mufasa, alright? And then, we feast on the chaos. Or he'll just not wake up and we eat him. See, it's all good either way. But he's going to need some muscle. He's going to need some muscles, going to need some numbers. The bone makers, the bone eaters, alright? And it's like, or he just dies in the rain, and this is all interrupted by the arrival of Rafiki. You're like, get away from him! Get away from him! You're like, And he takes Scar to his house, his little tree, well, not little tree, his awesome tree. And Scar, being Scar, wakes up all angry, and Rafiki just goes, bad kitty. Bad kitty. Alright, he says, dude, you have got to calm down here, alright? And Scar is like, you know what? Tell me I'm the wisest lion in all the land. He's like, oh god. Oh god. He's like, Scar, like, you are brilliant and cunning, but you covet the throne. You let jealousy and hate murk the waters of your soul. Like, look, you could be so much more if you just let all of this go. Or he even asked, like, hey, Rafiki, you're like, you know what, if you side with me, you can make me king, and everything's good. Like, people follow you and whatnot. And he's like, dude, I just baptized that baby. I'm not going to undo all that. That's a whole morning I can't get back. Alright? I hugged Mufasa and everything. I can't. But he's like, yeah, this isn't you, Scar. Like, you have to let this go. And it's an interesting thing. Like, Scar, like Jafar, could do a lot of good if they just let go of this sort of idea of what they think they deserve. It's not a matter of worth. It's just the reality of the world. And so, it's sort of weird. And Scar's like, are you saying I'm the villain? All my life, I've been ready to replace Mufasa. I'm like, well, to me, it's like still the dumbest thing. Like, you should know by default. This was always going to happen. And so Rafiki tries, like, get him to focus. Like, look, dude, let it go. You're better than this. You could be better than this. Don't let this eat you up. Also, you still kind of fell off a cliff. So here, take some of this, alright, and rest. Get your body back together. And so, I'm sorry, this is still such a weird story because we're trying to convince Scar of the reality that he should have been aware of. And Rafiki goes like, your jealousy and ego make you a terrible lion who does terrible things. Alright? And to which Rafiki says, or Scar just goes like, whatever, and just leaves. And Crass and his friend are like, yeah, this is gonna get good. So now, let's introduce Scar to the Bone Eaters. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Disney Villains Issue 1 is letting you know that Scar is way more pathetic than we thought before. Alright? I think before we thought Scar was someone who was just sort of evil because he wanted to be king. Alright? He even says in the movie, like, I was first in line before the little hairball was born. But even then, you sort of felt like this sort of him grasping at straws. Like, he knew his day would come eventually. Like, yeah, it sucks. But this one, he's like, I should still be king. I was next in line. I'm like, dude, let it go. And he starts off. He's sort of like, I just want to bully and kill children because I've had a bad day. And by bad day, this thing I knew was always going to happen, happened. Like, what? Alright? And I made like a thinly veiled threat to my brother, and he wasn't having it. So, yeah, weird. I like Rafiki in this one. I don't like the idea that these vultures are the ones that guide Scar to making his decisions. But I think it could work if the idea was that as Scar is, trying to come to terms with it, something else happens. If you want to make Scar more of a tragic character, in the idea that his decisions are influenced by factors outside of not only himself, but the person he's mad at, because he's really mad at Mufasa. Alright? For doing what he was always going to do. So, whatever. Ultimately, I look forward to seeing where issue 2 comes with this, but now we have the mistress of all evil, Maleficent. This story is stupid. Now, it is not Maleficent's fault. Maleficent is actually pretty well in character here, so she's fine. The problem is, this story seems, this is just a one-shot, really. Like, there's, none of this, I think, will come up in the next issue of this story. So, anyway. This story here starts off with some dude running out. It took me a while to figure out this was a dude. I was hoping it wasn't a dude. But anyway, running off, getting jumped by wolves. Maleficent shows up like, be gone! Like, what are you doing in the forest of Maleficent? Like, it's called something else, but like, it's the dark forest. Like, no, this is the forest of Maleficent. What are you doing in my forest? And he says, my name is Reynard. And, so I didn't quite like the life I was living and the responsibilities, so I left it. I don't want to do it. I want to be free. My other brother will handle it, and I want to see the world and see interesting things. And he's interested in Maleficent. And I thought, is this like a weird attempt to, like, replay the first movie? Because, Maleficent learned a lesson now, but Reynard's like, so I want to know about your powers. Where do you get it from? Is it like a source? Is it just part of you? Or is it that scepter? You reach for the scepter, and Diablo comes in like, and Maleficent's like, you think the scepter is my power? No. The power is Maleficent. Maleficent is me. Alright, I am power. Alright? And you need to just get out my forest. Alright, just go. Just go. Alright? He's like, well, hold on. Like, look, I'll go, but may I trouble you for a trinket? I'm like, the audacity. Like, hey, give me something. Alright? And he's like, I think Diablo's like, does he want to die? Does he want to die? And she's like, okay, fine, look, just get out. I think this also shows Maleficent is not like an inherently evil person. Like, she's the mistress of all evil, but unlike Scar, she doesn't just pick off random people like, this dude got lost, and he's got some audacity to him, but you know what, just here, take this compass I've made. Alright, it'll point to what you want. Alright, where you want to go, it'll point you there. And so it's like, just get out. And he hasn't learned his lesson. Like, well, I didn't want a compass, but I can use it to find what I do want. And that's Maleficent. I'm like, dude, are you in love with Maleficent? Okay, fun idea. Maybe he likes his evil dom goth mommy. I can respect that. So anyway, he uses the compass to go find Maleficent. And while Maleficent goes in for the night, gets ready, unwinds as we all do, puts her scepter up, goes off. Reynard decides, like, he just takes her scepter, like, yeah, got the scepter, and runs away. And all these animals, all these, like, guards, like, hey, did he take Maleficent's scepter? Yeah, he did. Pooh, this gonna be good. Cecil, come watch this. And Maleficent just teleports, like, so, what did you think was gonna happen? Pretty much is what happened. She just teleports like, did you think I needed the scepter to do magic? And he tries to use the scepter. He's like, be gone! And she's like, I just told you earlier, this is not my power. This is really just for style. Alright? And so he's like, you know what? You want to travel the world? You want to be free and whatnot? I'll turn you into a cat. Or something. I don't know what that is. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Maleficent issue 1 has one premise. Don't fuck with Maleficent. That's all there is to it. And to be fair, it's a simple moral. I didn't think people needed to be told it. I'm guessing, well, by default, this has to take place before Sleeping Beauty. Alright, so, but even this book implies Reynard knows about Maleficent. So I don't quite get what he thought was going to happen. He seems to think he can outsmart Maleficent. Which, okay, not uncommon to outsmart evil witches and wizards and sorceresses and fairies. Like, it's possible. But he was pretty stupid about this. Alright, he seems to think like, yeah, I'm going to sneak into her house, steal her magical item, and she'll never be aware of it. Yeah. I think the most out of thing here is Maleficent giving him the compass. And just like, look, I don't care, just go. Look, you can get lost here all you want, and just go from there. Overall, though, really fun. I look forward to seeing what issue 2 is, because like I said, we're not going to see Reynard again. We are not going to see him again. So I want to know where it's going next. Are we going to see, like, maybe an arc? Like, Scar's story seems to be a build-up to, long live the king. But with Maleficent, we still don't quite know when it takes place. Does it take place before the events of Sleeping Beauty or during the events of Sleeping Beauty? Like, while she's waiting for Aurora to turn 18, so she'll prick her finger on the spool of a spinning wheel because she wasn't invited to a party she wasn't going to go to. Like, who knows? We'll find out, hopefully. Maybe this story will give us a bit of insight into her relationship with King Stefan, like why this invite was important. As opposed to the Maleficent movie, which made it really personal and really didn't go into that at all. It also made Maleficent pretty incompetent, but whatever. So anyway, that is our Disney villains group. It's been a while since we talked about Disney villains. It's been a while. Not since the School of Disney Villainy, which I still love. I still love that little project we did. But yeah. So anyway, with that in mind, let's bring this to a close here. If you're new to the Bug Think Tank, like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some of my videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well. Fools!
Evil, 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 evil,
Evil! 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 Evil!